10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start the show.
Right now we are sitting down with my favorite Arkansas State University running back. We have a guy who's fought on Dana White's Contender Series, a guy who's a big-time name in MMA. We have a former Mr. Money in the Bank from WrestleMania 23, former WWE United States champion, a former two-time TNA heavyweight champion, Mr. This guy directed Batman Heart of Ice on YouTube, an amazing fan film. Someone who was in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the Ultimate Fighter at one point. Helped run and promote Championship Wrestling of Arkansas for the little bit of time that it was around, as well as a professional wrestler from the early 90s. The guy is running Street Beefs Dirty South, a professional MMA fighter, and looking to make a debut sometime in the near future in bare knuckle boxing. We're the one and only Jason Voorhees, Mr. James Stokes himself. How's it going, James? Good to see you again.
You are now experiencing the Adam Talks Podcast Season 2.
Hey everybody, it's me, Adam, from the Adam Talks Podcast, right here on whatever platform you're watching or listening to it on. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us on this awesome new episode. Very excited about this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's another one of my acting friends. It's just going to be a great episode, guys. But before we get into any of the festivities, before we get into any of the fun, can I ask you to do one thing for me? Just one real quick thing. It takes literally just a couple seconds out of your day. If you're watching us on YouTube, could you hit that subscribe button? And if you're listening to us on one of the other platforms, can you hit that follow button? Guys, it means the world to me. You have no idea. It means so much to me whenever you can do this, and it makes my day absolutely 100% super grateful for everything you guys do to help the show out. But like I said, I have one of my acting friends come on. She's an actress. She's done background work in several different things. She's also the director and creator of the Berryville Film Festival, which is coming this year, which is nuts. And she's a casting director and runs her own casting agency with JB Talent Konnections, and that's Konnections with a K. We are talking to Julia D Borkowski, and this conversation is just a lot of fun. It's very, it teaches me a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things through this episode, so I'm not going to let you wait any further. This is my conversation with Julia D Borkowski.
Welcome back, everybody. We have an awesome guest today. It is really cool to have her on here. She is, a casting director, I guess, is that a way you would say that?
Yes, I am a casting director and talent agent.
As well as an actor in your own right. We have Julia Borkowski on the show. How have you been?
I have been really good and really busy. How have you been?
Oh man, a bunch of the same. Last night, I did a podcast episode with somebody, and we're going to have to redo that at a later date because things just didn't go the way that we wanted it to, so.
I hate when that happens.
It happens. It's not that big a deal as long as the person's cool with rescheduling. It's whatever.
Absolutely.
What have you been up to here lately?
So mainly we have 2 live castings right now, so I've been working on that. But honestly, I've been working really strongly on The Forest of the Trees, which is a new feature film we're working on. It's by Jason Pitts. I love Jason. He's actually one of my clients as well. And we are working on The Forest of the Trees. This is a very big feature we're working on. We have cast coming from different states. They actually a lot of them flew in today, so I get to see them here in a little while when I go and say hi to everyone and welcome them. But we have been working on that. I was a casting director for that. That was a crazy casting. We had over 500 submissions from across the country for it. It was very intense. And I'm also a producer on it. So we are about to start filming tomorrow night. And we're filming for 4 or 5 days. I don't even know. I haven't even counted. But I will be doing 12 plus hours on set overnight starting tomorrow night. So I have a lot of monsters right now in my fridge and Dr. Peppers and like snacks and stuff that are ready for me this weekend. But
gotta stay energized.
Yes. No, so I'm a producer on that. I did the casting, and they needed a younger version of one of the characters, so Jason had me audition for that part, and I also have that role. So, which, that is week 2 of filming. Here in June, we'll film that part. But that's what I'm mainly working on this week, anyway. But we are working a lot on Berryville Film Festival, aside from my agency. It is a first annual Berryville Film Festival. I'm the founder and festival director for it. So it's exciting to bring something to a small town, something brand new. But that's what I'm focusing on. Right before this, I was actually working on the sponsorship packages.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. What all does that entail? I mean, that seems like a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. So, Berryville Film Festival will have 3 different categories. It will be micro shorts, which is under 5 minutes, shorts, which is 5 to 45 minutes, and features over 45 minutes. And it is open to anyone in the USA. We figured we'll try just US first, and then maybe international in later years. But first year film festival, they can go on Film Freeway and submit. It is going to be September 13th and 14th. So this year is a 2-day festival. We are taking over the Berryville public square. It's a very historic square with beautiful buildings, and it is getting shut down, where we're going to have over 60 vendors, food trucks, entertainment, comedy shows at night. Both nights we're going to have free movie nights in the alley. And then Berryville Community Center we are teaming up with, and we're going to have all of our workshops there and our screenings and the awards ceremony. They have a huge theater in there that can fit over 350 people. Beautiful stage, beautiful screen. I'm very excited and honored to be able to use that place, and for the first annual film festival though, so.
I mean, it's got to be very exciting. I mean, I can tell you're excited about it, but it's got to be very exciting. You know, you're the one starting this whole thing up, this movement, as it were, to have all this cool stuff happening. You know, whether it's a short, whether it's a micro short or a full-length film. I mean, that's nuts, you know?
It's crazy. And the submissions we're getting in are absolutely amazing. The one big thing right now is because we're a first year film festival, we are not live on Film Freeway. So someone can't just find us on there. They have to find our direct link, which that just shows like how it will test our marketing skills for sure. And with the amount of submissions we already have, they opened up April 1st. And so it's been exactly a month that we have them posted. And we have a lot of submissions already. And our regular deadline will be July 12th, with our late deadline being August 2nd. I'm sorry. And so we're excited about the submissions we're getting. We have some from Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and I feel like there's another state I'm missing. But we already have some in each category. And being able to watch some of these films, I am not a judge because I feel like I have my hands in too many projects around here, so I definitely did not feel like I should be a judge for it. So, I don't know, it's fun seeing all these submissions come in and seeing what we have in our community. Really talented people and very, I don't know, talented, you know, people behind the scenes and in front of the camera.
Definitely. How did you get into the film world in general? I mean, was it just a love for movies? Was it a love for the script, just these actors? I mean, what brought you to the dance?
Oh my goodness. So funny story here. I was supposed to be a veterinarian. At the age of 13, I was actually working at a vet clinic, assisting in surgeries and procedures and all that. And but at the same time, I was the same kid that was doing, you know, background work, and I was, you know, being a lead actors in a play and doing this and that. And so I remember I was producing runway shows and I was assisting in castings. I just kind of got into it. I don't even know. I remember, I think my first play I did, I was probably 8, 7, I don't know. And I just kind of, I loved being on stage. I liked the spotlight, I'm not gonna lie. And then I just was like, oh, I want to do this play, I want to do that play. And I was homeschooled, and I started going to the Rogers High School to just do theater class there, and I got more involved. There was a local acting class that I got involved with, and then I just started connecting with other people in the industry, and people were like, you're gonna go far with this. I'm like, this is a hobby, what are you talking about? And one day when I moved to Arkansas, I've been to Arkansas, when I moved to Berryville, because I was originally from Rogers, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go start a theater and film training course for kids at the community center. Like I said, they have a beautiful stage, and I was thinking we would have 5 kids sign up, and the community center thought we would have like 2 kids sign up. First day, we had 15 kids, and our first show we had on that stage, we had over 200 audience members there.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm liking this. And I was booking those kids for movies, and I was booking a lot of my old friends for movies or commercials, things like that. And it kind of got to a point where people were like, Julia, you need to start an agency, because I had the experience. I knew what I was doing. I already had the ties and within the community. And so I was like, okay, why not? And since starting the JB Talent Konnections, it has grown so much. I can't believe how much it's grown. We are now working with talent. We have talent, and we're casting projects in Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, from no budgets up to multi-million-dollar films.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that like? I mean, dipping your toes into all different pots. I mean, you talk about the differences from no budget movies to multi-million-dollar projects. I mean, geez, that's probably astronomical and different than what the people are looking for and everything.
Absolutely. Something I've realized working, the reason I do work with these small budget films that, they don't have a huge budget, and a lot of times I'm trying to help them find budgets, whether it's crowdfunding or whatever that might be. I want to help, connect the ties in the film industry. I've been able to take someone that's brand new to the film industry and connect them with people who have been in it all their life, and now they're doing a lot larger of projects, and that is especially with my clients who are brand new to acting. I've gotten them roles where now they're doing, O'Reilly commercials and things like that. But so my biggest goal is, let's take these small projects and make them larger. Because if they don't have a good cast and they don't have a good crew, which is what I usually help find, then it's not going to be a good film. Where if I find them a good cast and good crew, then it can turn into something a lot larger and a lot larger of a budget in the long run. But I love, of course, working on my large budget films. I get to see a lot of people that I know and I love working with. And of course, it's always nice working with a larger budget because the possibilities are endless, I feel like. But there's a lot more that goes into it when it's a larger budget film, and because usually there's a lot more that goes into the casting and there's a lot more people involved with it, where it's not just me and the director trying to decide on who's going to play this lead role or who's going to be the extra in this scene.
Okay. I was actually just going to ask something similar to the question or to the response you just had. Do you work hand in hand with like the directors and producers and stuff to find parts for these films, or is it like you're talking to the talent and being like, "Oh, here's a project over here, go and check this out"?
Both. So, JB Talent Konnections is a talent and casting agency. So, if I'm working with a director, so I'm going to just use Jason's projects as an example since we're working on it, so I'm getting in the spirit of it. Pretty much he came to me and said, hey, I have the script done. I am ready to find my talent. And he pretty much gave me all the descriptions of all the characters, kind of what he was looking for, the inspiration. He actually gave me inspiration photos to what he wanted, and just every description I needed. Before I posted it, of course, it goes directly to my talent that I have on my roster saying, hey, here's a project, here's an opportunity, let's get you submitted if you are interested. And then we submit them. And then it goes live on, Facebook, it goes live on the casting sites, wherever that might be, because we want to open it up to everyone, but my clients usually just see it first. They're on the roster. Here's what we got. And then it's opened up to everyone. And like I said, we had over 500 submissions for Jason's film, and that was across the country. It was crazy. But on the talent agency side, I have about 60 clients that are under my name. And the reason it's only we keep it about 60, so I can stay close with my clients. Like right before this, I was just messaging a client about his resume, just trying to help him create it better and make it a little more organized. So when casting directors are looking at it, it's easy for us to find what we need. But we get about 10 submissions a week of people wanting to sign, 5 to 10 submissions a week of people wanting to sign with our agency and being represented by us. So whenever I see a project, sometimes I'm just on Facebook, sometimes I'm on a casting site. I'm like, oh, okay, a commercial for, female 25 to 45, any ethnicity. I'm going to send that to every client of mine that fits that range. Sometimes I'll see some and it's like, it says, unpaid, just IMDb. I'm only going to send that to my clients that are willing to take unpaid projects and are in that area. So I'm real big into not just sending my clients saying, hey, here's a casting if it's not related to them. I know that happens a lot where it gets sent out just as a broad email saying, okay, clients, here's what we have, and it doesn't even fit them. I just want to be able to message you and say, hey, there's a casting. Are you interested? And then I keep everyone's files on my computer, their headshots, their resumes, their acting reels, their IMDb credits, and then I just send it. I send that in an email to that other casting director, whoever that might be, and then they get submitted.
Right on. Has it ever been difficult to find work for people?
Yes. So something I tell all of my clients before they sign on with me, before I even send them a contract, I tell them and I hate saying this to people because it's nothing they're doing wrong, but I might sign on with you and I might book you, projects weekly. You might be nonstop booking, and then you might go a year without booking a single thing. That's nothing you're doing wrong, and that's something I'm doing wrong. It's a dead season for you. I've had actors that are very well experienced. They have the perfect resume, the perfect reel. And then I have an actor who's brand new to acting, and they might get that role over that other person. And I tell people the reason you might not be booking, or the reason someone else got it, ahead of you, is because that director, that casting director, they already have in their head exactly what they want. They know they might not post the exact look because they can, or they don't post the exact hair color, things like that, because they want to keep their mind open. But they already know what they want in that character. We don't know. So it's kind of a gamble when it comes to castings. It's, let me send 30 of my clients in for this one role, and none of them might get it, even if there's like 50 submissions. And that's just because maybe none of them have the look they're looking for, or we've come into scenarios where there might be a commercial filming and they need extras. They're just going to take the first 5 people that submitted. They're not even going to look at the other submissions. They're just going to take the first ones that submitted. So I tell people it's a gamble sometimes. It's nothing you're doing wrong as an actor. It just depends. So it can be hard to find work. I have some clients who are booking a lot and some who are not, and there's nothing wrong with those actors that aren't booking anything. It's just dead season for some of them.
Right on. I was going to ask, going along with that, I had seen a podcast with Dave Bautista on it, and he's a huge movie star. He was a huge pro wrestler before that even, but he was talking about going into the Blade Runner movie. The director didn't want a person his age or his size to be in that role, but him and his manager or casting agent, whatever it was, went in there and they kept going at it, and eventually the director was like, that's exactly what I was looking for. Have you had any kind of situations like that?
There's one, and I can't, when you're talking about that, I'm like, okay, there's a scenario of this, and why can't I remember exactly what happened? I know there's been times, me as a casting director, where I know exactly what the director wants. And so I'll put it in the description, like, okay, we need someone with this body type, with this hair color, things like that, like to the exact description. And we'll get people that might submit and they do not, or they'll come to the auditions and they don't look anything like the description. But sometimes that acting will take it to a different level where it's like, oh, I never pictured that character looking that way or acting that way, but that was good. That has happened a lot. I can't put my finger on which projects it has happened, but it has multiple times where honestly someone has read and it's like, I was not picturing that. And that's gone in both ways where, they might have the perfect look, but when they read for that character, it was not what the director wanted. It was like, oh, I didn't like how they read for that. I don't like that look. Let's go in a totally different direction. So
okay.
I usually tell the directors to keep an open mind. If they're getting submissions, keep that submission open for at least a week, if not longer, depending on when they need the cast by, because so many directors will get excited when they get the first couple of, submissions in. They're like, oh, he's perfect. I'm like, just wait. Let's see what else we get in. Let's see what other talent, and then let's have them, do a callback to see what they do when they read for that character.
So, I'm guessing there's times whenever you're in there and you really got to fight for your client if they're a part. Like if you know they're going to do this part better than anybody because you've already seen X amount of people, and this is the guy, and you're like, this is the guy or this is the girl. This is I know this is it. Sometimes you got to get in there and get your hands dirty. I'd imagine with the director and be like, look. This guy, like you said, keep your casting open or keep your head open for a week, at least, because you have faith in this person or whatever. I know you have faith in all your clients. I ain't saying anything negative like that, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been in that position before where I've had a director cast his project and he sent it back to me and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like, and it wasn't like a client against a client type thing. It was just more of, I know this client, I know he could nail this role. Mm-hmm. Let's get him to read a few more times, and where the director, I think he was just, nothing bad about the director. I think he just got excited about the look, because we had a lot of submissions, and I think he just kind of, he was piecing it all together where I'm like, hey, this director might match this character a little better. I can't talk about what project it was, otherwise I'd get more into, specifics there. But I have pushed in an instant of, hey, no, this client I think could definitely take this role. Trust me in this process of just take it and run, type thing. I haven't had that scenario too many times, but there has been at least once that I had to really say, hey, no, you're wrong. And it ended up pretty good.
This is your project, but you don't know. You have no clue what you're looking for.
I've got into some with some directors. I won't lie. I mean, it's never bad or anything, but I like to, be honest with the directors and say, hey, I know this is your project. I know you're seeing it this way, but can we try it different? Because that's even happened behind the scenes when I be helping, not even with casting. It's just more of being on set. I'm like, hey, did you think about, trying this out? Or did you even think about, getting this footage? Because I never want to overstep, of course. And I tell every director or anyone I work with, I'm just kind of that extra pair of eyes of just in case.
Definitely. And I'm sure that never hurts anything, because you always want to have them extra eyes around, because if I'm seeing something from this angle and you're over here, you're going to see it from a completely different viewpoint,
Yes.
Well, what if this looks better than this? What if this looks, this may look a little better if you're doing this, or wait just a second before the tears come into play, or whatever it may be,
And I tell them when it comes to development, pre-production, production, I'm wonderful. And after that, I'll see you on the red carpet. You don't want me in post-production. But I tell them, I'm like, it's better to have more during post-production for whoever the editor is or anything like that than to not have enough. So, yeah, let's try the scene how you wanted to. Let's get enough of that. But let's also try it a little differently, maybe from a different angle, maybe with different type of acting from the actors and taking in a different direction, because in post it might work because you might be filming that scene that day and then you might film that something that goes along with that scene months later where it's not adding up with the story now because of how that actor took a certain line, where if they took it in a bad way where they're talking badly about that person, but they're actually, really close at the end of the script. I don't know. I'm not explaining that well, but I'm just saying, you should take it in different directions. So during post, you have different options, rather than needing to refilm or something not making sense in the film.
Yeah, I bet reshoots probably, really bust people's balls whenever it comes to the end of the shoot. You're already done shooting the movie, but then you realize, I gotta get this scene and this scene, or I gotta get something to connect these two pieces, So it's probably a bit of a ball buster,
It really is.
An ego deflator.
Oh, for sure.
Yes! We're done! Then you watch the movie and you're like, that made no sense. We gotta fix that.
Exactly. Now, that's why I tell people you don't want me in post either, because, you know, something's going to happen. I'm going to be like, hey, I don't think you actually filmed the movie. And they're going to be like, yeah. And I'm going to be like, well, maybe I deleted it by accident or something. Like, I was scared about setting up, you know, my computer for the podcast. Like, I was like, I hope I don't have to log in. Like, what am I?
Man, I really appreciate you being on here. It means a lot. Like I told you before we started, you know, I love having actors and you're the first casting director or agent that I've ever had on the show. So, act like I have had a ton of them on or something. But I've had Marilyn Knapp on. I've had James Stokes on twice now. I've had Jason Pitts on, Will Reed, and, you know, just several other people Justin Russell.
Yeah.
You hooked me up with that contact.
He's one of my clients. I absolutely love him. He's great. He's going to be, he's not been announced yet, but he's going to be one of our comedians at the Berryville Film Festival.
Hey, there we go. Right on. Dude's a stand-up guy, you know.
Yes.
Going along with the festivals, is there audio drama submissions at any festivals? Because I've looked online for that, and I've seen very minute amounts of I think they put it at radio drama or something like that.
I personally have not really seen any audio stuff for festivals. I will be the first one to tell you I'm not a festival guru. I'm still learning. And that's why I tell everyone, that's why my festival is going to be a little different. I want it to be different. But I have not seen a lot of audio stuff. Maybe that's something we try out one of these years. But I have never seen any submission details for any festivals with audio.
Okay. I just didn't know. I know I like doing a lot of audio drama stuff, and you're going to be part of one of my projects that I got coming up January. Grief, it's going to be great. I'm excited about that. But not only that, I've done all kinds of other audio dramas, and I've always wondered about that because, you know, I've seen these festivals that Jason would enter his films into, and then there's several other people that have awards, film festival winner for whatever, and I'm is there audio?
I personally have not seen anything yet.
You're the expert. I'm asking you.
I know, I'm going to have to research it. Maybe that's something in the future that we try out. You know, I'll have to look into something like that because I've never heard of anything. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I just never have seen anything like it.
So getting off of the festival sort of thing, you've done casting, you've been an agent, and you said production. You're a producer.
So yeah, I am a producer on Jason Pitt's film, The Forest of the Trees. I have done producer work. It's usually everything on the computer, call sheets, things like that. But this is my first time being a producer on set, making sure no one's, jumping off cliffs or being stupid. I don't think that will happen. But, just making sure, everything's going the way the director wants it, and making sure Jason's not stressed and things are going smoothly, and, the next actor's ready to go, and, there's food. Okay, the food's mainly for me, but I'm just kidding. So I've done producer work, but this is my first time really as a title as a producer, and this is my first time as a producer on set. So I'm really excited because someone I've looked up to in the film industry, his name is Robert Babcock, and he is someone that when I met him on a set, I was like, you know what, this is how I'm going to run all of my sets I ever work on. I just remember how he treated me, how he treated everyone else. He was very... I don't know, he was so friendly. Everyone loves Robert, I'm going to be honest. And he chased me out of set when I was leaving to come give me a hug and say how much he appreciated everything I did, which was nothing on that set. But he's a producer on this set, and so I get to learn from the one and only Robert Babcock, and that means a lot to me.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. What is the duties that you're going to have on set as a producer, and how does it differ from maybe directing or doing something else?
Yeah. I'm going to kind of start from the director's POV. So Jason will be honestly in charge of, making sure the actors know what they are going to be doing on set. He's going to be working directly with those actors. He's not going to be working with the actors that are in the scenes 6 hours from now, but he's going to be working with the ones right then and there. They understand the emotion he wants. They understand the movements he wants. He's working with the crew of, okay, let's get this rolling. Let's do that. Where Robert and I are going to pretty much be kind of running around everywhere and making sure, other actors, we want them to be all having a really good time, but we don't want them to be getting in the way of production. We want them to be able to also be taken care of. Okay, do they have, food? Do they have water? Are they dying on set? Those types of things. Making sure that's running smoothly. And we don't want, our PAs or people running up to Jason and saying, hey, what do you need help with? We'd rather them to come to, Robert and I, say, hey, what needs help? Who needs help? What department needs this? Where does this go? Because that's not Jason's responsibility there. We need his head, in the game of, okay, this is what's happening in this scene. Let's make it the best possible scene for this film.
Okay. So you're keeping everybody in line, basically.
Keeping everyone in line, yeah, pretty much. And then I get to do the call sheets, which this is the biggest cast I've done call sheets for, so.
All right. Right on.
Casting crew.
How is it differ whenever you're going from this smaller project to the larger projects that you might have?
Definitely trying to learn that everyone has a role and that I don't have to worry about every little thing on set. Usually these smaller sets, it's maybe 5 of us on set, and I'm kind of maybe doing an AC role, I'm doing an AD role, I'm doing a little bit of everything on those sets of, do we have this? How's the actor doing? Who's slating this scene? Have you got, room tone? Things like that. Where, grip's going to have their own job. I don't have to worry about stuff they're doing. Sound is going to worry about getting that room tone. The director's going to be worrying about the emotions and things like that, where I'm going to be able just to focus on, are things running smoothly?
Okay.
So, it's going to be a less responsibility in a way where I'm going to have a lot more responsibility at the same time, but we're going to have a good team. With larger sets, you have a good team where you don't have to worry about every little thing.
Right on. Kind of frees your hands up a little bit. Lets you just be able to focus, more
Absolutely.
on one thing and making sure that gets done the best that it can possibly be. Whereas, maybe you're kind of stretched thin on a smaller set at times. Like you said, you have a lot of hats you got to wear.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you had any moment where stress has gotten to you and you felt really overwhelmed or anxious while you were doing anything, whether it's casting or acting or helping with anything else?
Yes, but not on a set. I'm thinking on a set. Have I got stressed on a set? I'm always stressed on a set. But there was one weekend. This was back in March, so this wasn't that long ago. I was on 6 different sets within 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Whether I was, background, I was acting, I was casting, I was helping out on set. I was on 6 different sets, and that weekend, that final weekend, I remembered I was just so stressed afterwards, and I was supposed to be on another set that next day, just as background. I thought it was fun, and I tell people the days I'm a background, actor, those are my days off because I don't have to think about anything. I'm getting free food, I'm getting paid. Those are my days off. But I was supposed to be an extra, and I remember I was real stressed because they hadn't sent me the call sheet yet. They needed this certain wardrobe, but they didn't tell me about the wardrobe till last minute. And there's no stores really in Berryville except Walmart, especially at that time at night. And then they just didn't send me the call sheet, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm not good. Even though I was confirmed, but they never sent me anything. And so, because I was real stressed, and because I was just working on another one that morning, and then the day before that I was on a different set. And so it's just kind of all getting to me, and I remember telling Trent, I'm like, I'm coming home and I'm just gonna sit and I might just stare into the abyss. And I remember he's like, well, what can I help with? I'm like, I don't know. And once I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going on set tomorrow. I was the next day I slept a lot and I kind of just de-stressed.
How do you get rid of that anxious feeling or that stress feeling?
Ooh, I don't know. I just carry it with me now.
I just keep it on my shoulders and just don't acknowledge it. I don't even look at it.
There's some pimples. I'm gonna be honest. Those are my stress pimples. That's where my stress goes. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not.
You're a riot.
I try. Stress. Honestly, I'm always some type of stress. And Trent and my boyfriend, him and I've been together about going on 4 years. We've been friends for 5. We met, in theater and stuff. He's not theatrical, I will tell you that. But I take a lot of my stress out on him. I feel really bad because he'll be like, why are you mad at me? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm stressed about this. And he does a real good job, honestly, of kind of just, hey, let's just, watch TV. Let's go do this. Like, stop stressing. So I think me taking my stress out on him, which is not a good thing, but he helps calm me down for sure with that. And then my dog, I have 2 dogs. I have a special one, but he does not help the stress. I think he causes it. And then I have a 13-year-old Chihuahua that I've had forever, and he definitely knows when I'm stressed and he helps.
Right on. It's like I was talking to somebody recently, and we were talking about having a positive surrounding, like a positive, what is it called? Support system. That's the word I was like. It's very important to have that positive support system, because if you ain't got those people that are around you supporting you and helping you out, I mean, you're not going to be able to do a lot. You're going to feel real small a lot of the time and kind of get broken down and stuff. I know I've gone through stuff in my personal life, and it was really hard for me to stand back up, but having a good support system around you really helps a lot to be able to do that, I think that's a super important thing for pretty much anybody to have.
Oh. 100% agree. I think my Dr. Pepper also helps. I want to throw that out there. Usually that's what calms me. That's what calms me down. Like, Trent will be like, let me get you some Dr. Pepper, and then I'm happy.
It puts you in your happy place. Cup of sweet tea will do that for me.
It puts me in my happy place.
I get that.
And that's why I have a 24-pack ready for this weekend. It will last me a day.
Right on. So you've been background acting on a lot of different things, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What is some of the stuff we may have seen you lurking in the background in?
I have done What Happens Later with Meg Ryan, David Duchovny. I have done 5,000 Blankets with Anna Camp. I just recently did Sovereign that has Dennis Quaid and Nick Offerman. I did not fangirl at all when Dennis Quaid stood beside me. Some others might have said differently, but I definitely
No, you did. Don't say. I'm professional.
I know, I'm like, he's like, he's totally not standing right beside me, and I'm totally not freaking out. I have been a background on In Fortune's Shadow with Theo Rossi and Michael Rooker. Oh my goodness, I'm going blank. I've done a little bit of everything with... Sorry, I was kind of looking for my resume because I just had it pulled up recently. I was showing another actor my resume. But no, that's some of my larger films I have done recently. Those are probably my most recent films. That's probably why I'm only remembering those. But background work, I've done a lot of those big features that have been coming to NWA. With those probably be my most recent.
Okay. Have you done a lot of supporting roles or lead roles?
No. Okay, so I will tell everyone this. I'm not ashamed of it, but I love theater, and I am a theater kid at heart. I love musicals. I cannot sing, though. I get cut after singing at auditions. I will not lie. I don't even make it to dance auditions. But I love theater, and so I've done a lot of lead and supporting roles on stage. When it comes to film, though, people usually just throw me behind the scenes. It's just kind of, I'll be honest, like I feel like I'm good at what I do with the casting side, the producing side, whatever that might be. And I'll throw my hat in there for castings, but my clients come first. And so unless it's background stuff where I know they need a lot of people, I usually do not submit myself, just because I want my actors to have a, better chance. So like with Jason's film, I'm playing a younger version, but it was more of him saying, hey, you might fit this well, can you audition? And so I was like, okay. And there was like a recent feature that I was helping cast, and they had me audition. It was between me and another girl, and she got, and honestly, I know this director, and I was like, hey, keep an open mind. Like, don't just cast me just to cast me. And so once that other girl, hers in my auditions, of course I get to see all the auditions. I was the casting director, and I saw her last self-tape, because we did like 3 self-tapes, and I was like, okay, you need to cast her, like, because she did it very well with telling the story with her eyes and her facial expressions. And I'm not the greatest actor. I will tell anyone that. I'm very theatrical, though. I'm very big, and that's not film. So I just don't audition as much for film. I'd rather do theater. I just don't have the time for it as much.
What is the big difference with theater and filming? Past maybe one, but what's the big difference? Because I know you're on film, you've got to, I guess, be more subtle about things, and it's more, more like you were saying, facials, more describing the way the scene or the way your character is feeling by the way you hold yourself or the way you move or whatever. But I don't really know. I'm not sure. I'm not trained or anything like that. So what is the real differences?
So, big difference. One, it's very big, and one's not. So film is going to be more, it's very natural. It's something you're going to see in everyday life. It's just a conversation you and I are having. So it's really important to not show that, overreacting, emotions and things like that, where that's going to be more theatrical. If, the character in the play is very emotional, like sad or angry, they're gonna show it a lot more on stage, where they're gonna be overly sad and overly angry or overly happy. It's never really just a natural conversation, I feel like. It's live theater, and this is why I love theater over film, and I can't believe I tell people that, even though I'm in the film industry. But I love it because it's live. Anything can happen with it. There's never a show, no 2 shows are the exact same, because one night the audience is going to laugh at one joke, and then the next night they're not going to laugh at that joke. My, scene partner might drop a line. I might drop a line. We might improv. A prop might break. Costume malfunction. Something could happen, where film, it's a lot more work, but it's a little easier in a way. I'm not saying it's easier. Both of them are very, very hard. But if you mess up, we can keep on working with the emotion. We can keep on working with the facial expressions, the movement, whatever that might be. But with theater, you have one and only chance of, okay, go out, go do it. I mean, of course you have rehearsals, but it's not like you mess up, okay, let's start over. Where film, you're going to be on set for over 12 hours, and we're going to work on one scene for 6 of those hours. Where, theater, it's usually like a 2-hour show. Okay. You have one chance.
It's big. Theater's big.
It's very big.
You got to be.
It's very big. The makeup is loud. The costumes are loud. It's so much fun, and it's funny because like when you're watching a show, their makeup looks like a theater show. Their makeup looks good, and then you see them and they have like clown makeup, because like you got to have the big makeup, because otherwise you get washed out. Where film, makeup is going to be different.
Well,
it's fun.
So, do you cast for just films, or do you cast stage performances as well?
So I also have Berryville on stage. It's another thing of mine, another hustle of mine. Surprise, surprise!
All kinds of eyes right now.
I do. So I was teaching classes. I had a facility here in Berryville, and it was more for the community rather than my agency. But I kind of grew out of it just because it was becoming more film related rather than community related. So I decided to, I just closed it down this past month, and I'm focusing more on film because I'm bringing a lot of stuff to Berryville. But Mayor McKinney, who is our mayor here in Berryville, and Jamie over at our community center, he's the Parks and Rec director, they're going to have me start a community theater group and have me start doing shows again on that stage at the community center.
That's all.
And so... yes, I kind of cast theatrical performances, but they're the ones I put on. I actually just chose our first show, like, silently, like it's not public or anything, but it's a show that I competed with when I was in high school, and I don't know why, it's just always been a special show to me, so I'm excited to announce it, because it will be able to have a lot of different age ranges in there, and it's gonna, you know, relate to all the audiences, like, seniors, adults, kids, everyone's going to be entertained by it.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I kind of do cast plays. And direct them.
Right on. What is it like directing on stage compared to directing on a film? Because I know on a film you've got multiple takes, but outside of that, what is the big, you know, what is it like for being a director? My word just work. Anyway, what's it like directing on? That's what I was trying to say. Yes.
Yeah, it's stressful. Depends on, I mean, who you're working with. It's always going to be stressful in some type of way. I've never really had the chance to direct film. I've kind of helped AD, but I've never been a director. I feel like it's pretty similar from my personal experience with film and theater. I honestly don't know how to answer that question, just because I feel like both are very difficult, you know, roles to fill as a director, and they're really similar. I feel, I mean, as a director for film, you're looking at all different aspects of, okay, we have to take these different the same scene, we have to do these different cuts and different angles and stuff, but same thing as a stage director, you're still having to figure out, okay, can this person in the balcony or this person in the back, can they hear that actor, can they see that actor? They have to figure out the different props, like, okay, how's this gonna work, how's this person gonna be seen? Because my actors I've had experience with, they like to show their butt to the stage. We don't want to see your butt. Like, you have to see your face the entire time, and it might be awkward. I remember being on stage once, and I was talking to the mother in the play, and I had to literally look, not even at her, because we were having a conversation on stage, but I was looking in a totally different direction, more towards the audience, rather than looking at her during that, because otherwise if I looked at her, they would have only seen the side of my face, and my hair would have covered it, and they couldn't see any of my facial expressions. So a director does have to think of that, and so... but it's pretty similar.
You gotta adjust your eye lines. Like,
yeah.
Because, like, if you're on stage, you're gonna be up there. You want front to be shown. You want people to be able to see the body language and speaking loud. I guess that's what people mean that they're wanting to speak louder, right?
Yes, projection is huge. I yell at all of my actors, I don't care if you have a microphone on, you better project, because grandma in the back who doesn't have her hearing aid turned up all the way, she can't hear you. I tell the kids, I'm like, if I can't hear you, like, even if with a microphone, but if you have a very soft-spoken actor and they're on stage, honestly, that's your biggest stress as a director. It's I'm not soft-spoken if you can't tell. I project naturally. And so trying to get those actors to be loud, even with a microphone, it can be difficult, because even with a microphone, you still gotta project, because that person in the balcony or that person in the back row or even in front of you, they cannot hear you unless you're projecting in some type of way.
Is it hard to teach people how to not be on stage, or hard to help them get the confidence to be loud on stage, be able to do stuff without, away from people or anything?
Oh my goodness, I have so many actors who have come to me to my classes and my shows, and honestly, they are very quiet people, and They're very shy, and that's something I love teaching in my classes is, because it doesn't, I think theater and fine arts is very important for kids, and especially to have it in schools, because that's not just helping them perform, or it's not like we're saying, oh, this is the industry you need to be in when you grow up. This is helping you be a public speaker when you are in a conference room, in front of your bosses, or you are the boss, to be able to present your ideas, to present your project. It will help you in school, it will help you in work, wherever that might be. And so these kids that don't, aren't in fine arts, it can be hard for them to be able to express themselves, whether just how they feel, what they want to do, or to be able to do any type of public speaking, which having any type of public speaking skills is important to have just in life. And so, and so many people don't understand that that's what fine arts does for you. And so I have a lot of kids, and I have a lot of adults too that come to me, and they do not project one single bit, and I can't get them to, bring that level from here to up here where we need it, or even meet me in the middle. So that's something that is one of my biggest challenges with any actor I work with, I feel like.
Definitely. What is your switching subject? I don't want to go out asking about your experience with Jason Pitts and the excitement for a forest through the tree, because that's going to be huge. I'm just going to go out on a limb right now. I'm super excited. Since I've seen the first post. It changed the profile picture stuff to the forest stuff. What can you talk about when it comes to this project?
Ooh, okay. So it's a demon cult. I mean, it's kind of cool. There's gonna be some. I'm trying to figure out like what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not. He hasn't trained us in the PR
Marvel
stuff.
And Disney
got not.
Locked up right now.
I know. I'm like, what are we allowed to say? I'll show you this. This is my binder for this weekend. So I'm super excited. I don't know the official poster. This was just my favorite poster of all of them. Pretty much there is going to be, there's, this demon cult that's going to be happening. And I'm excited because where we're filming at is also like an open place where people can stay at. So if there's any extra guests staying there, they're going to see some, cult scenes and like sacrificing and stuff like that. So hopefully they're warned that we are filming and that we're not an actual cult. I feel like people are going to really learn. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really like stumbling over my words with talking about this project. Like, I'm like, I could give you the entire storyline, but I don't think he wants me doing that. Pretty much this demon cult feeds off of this certain thing called, and I don't know how to pronounce it. It's when one eye's like blue, one's brown. Hecochromia.
I think that's it.
Did I get that? Maybe. Okay. And something I think is kind of cool is I have blue eyes, but this eye right here has a bit of hecochromia. Oh. And so I think it's kind of cool that I'm like, oh, I get to be in it. I have like a little bit, I always called it my chip of gold. Never knew what it was called until this project. But the one character has this, and this is something that the cult feeds off of. And so they want to sacrifice her. And the mother is like, that's not happening. And so later on, they are trying to sacrifice her and trying to, find her and kill her and all of that stuff. I don't know what else I can say. I'm so sorry. Like, I guess I should have trained myself. I know the script.
Whenever I talked to Jay Stokes a little while back, he was like, huh? Oh, I can't really say that. It's going to be everybody's life. Yeah, but I was like, yeah. I am very excited.
Okay, well, I feel better that I wasn't like, not giving information. Like Jason was kind of the same. So, yeah. Well, it's gonna be a great project. I definitely say follow, JB Talent Konnections on Facebook. Always follow it, but because we'll be posting a lot of pictures, I'm sure, hopefully, like later on, from behind the scenes and what's kind of happening. It's gonna be a really awesome set. With the cast and crew that we have, it's gonna be sick.
Just be off the chain.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. If you had to give your Mount Rushmore for inspiration to your career, or whether it's acting or whether it's doing something else, what's your Mount Rushmore? Or entertainment, whatever. My words just.
I'm sorry. It's kind of crackling. I'm gonna be honest. What was the question?
Hang on. Let me see. Okay. So, what is your Mount Rushmore as far as the business goes for an inspiration to you, like that inspired you, really made you believe that you could get into this and do it? If it's a director, whatever.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, this community in this film industry, just Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, like all these people here have kind of inspired me. It honestly probably wasn't just one person. It's been a lot. I get messages. It makes me so happy because I honestly get messages almost daily with people saying, "You're the best agent. You are doing so well in this. Like, you're our favorite person in this." Like, and that feeds the fuel. Like, it really helps me. Like, okay, I want to do this. It's never really been one person. It's always been a few people. I do remember my parents, when I was, supposed to be a veterinarian and stuff, they kind of brought back up the whole, hey, you were doing, like, all the, acting stuff and things like that. Like, have you thought about kind of getting back into it? Maybe, auditioning for more stuff? And they were thinking more the acting side of it. And I was like, yeah, maybe, Like, I told everyone it was a hobby. This whole thing was a hobby for the longest time. And, yeah. I'm on a podcast. Sorry, Trenton came in. I was like,
surprise!
Like, last time I was home alone. But they kind of put that in my head of, do you want to get back into acting type thing? Because I love agriculture. I'm huge into agriculture, but I think that kind of sparked, maybe I'll try getting back into it. And that's when I kind of started my classes for film and theater acting. And then, I don't know, it just kind of started where I was booking people for stuff. And they said, Julia, you're good at this. Start an agency. I really don't know. It was a little bit of everyone. And every single client that I've, signed with, and they help feed the fire with saying, hey, Julia, you're awesome. You need to continue this. Please keep doing this.
It all goes back to that positive support system, the people around you being positive, helping lift you up. So, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And that's what's something I'm real big into. I want to support you. Like that, I want to support, if you're an actor, if you're a director, if you do this, I'm going to try to support you and give you this context that you might need or things like that. I don't care if you have a budget for your film or if you do have a big budget. No matter what, I want to help you, and that's my goal. And when I'm trying to get publicity on my agency, and I'm trying to build up my agency or whatever that might be, it's not me trying to build up my name. I'm trying to build the agency up to help my actors, to help, the film community. Because when when my agency is getting this recognition and things like that, it's helping my actors.
Definitely.
And that's the main goal.
Man. Well, we are getting a little short on time, starting to get near the end of the episode, and usually at the end of each episode we do this particular thing where I'm a big guy about being grateful, very grateful guy for all kinds of stuff. I've kind of stole from a wrestling podcast my segment, but I'm going to use it anyway because it works for me. I tweaked it a little bit. Mine. I'm going to say three things I'm grateful for, and then after I finish, I guess has the opportunity to do that. So for me, it usually does not change that much. The first one is my support system, my beautiful fiance, my wonderful 2 daughters, 13 and 8-year-old wild children, my mom, my dad, my brother, everybody and anybody who's really supported me throughout my journey, music, whether it's making films, audio dramas, wrestling, what. You know, my support system is very important. Super grateful to everyone who supports me in what I do. The second one is you guys, because and honest, you don't have to come on here. I'm just some dude that likes talking to people. So I'm very grateful for anybody and everybody who decides to come on the show. It means the world to me. You know, I've had the luxury and luck to talk to some of the big names in the past. Anyway, some of the biggest names in wrestling whenever I was younger, as well as some movie people and MMA fighters. I've been blessed to be with awesome people, including yourself. So I'm endlessly grateful for being able to talk to each and every person. That, you know, I'm worth an hour of their time. And the third thing is kind of alternating the swinging door sort of situation, because it's about this. So I'm going to go ahead and break the rule. That's 3. Go ahead and say 4. So for one, it is. I am very grateful to be able to have the ability to not be stage fright. Well, not stage fright. I cannot play guitar or sing in front of people. I'm very stage fright when it comes to that. So, I'm very grateful to be able to have the ability to reach out and talk to people, where some people would be frozen in their own fear, too worried about what other people might do. I'm just very grateful to have the good health to be able to do. And the fourth thing, the good Lord above, because without none of this would be possible. Not one damn thing would be possible without the good Lord in my life. I'm a very firm believer. So, Julia, what are 3 things for in this very moment?
Oh my goodness. I am really grateful, honestly, for all of my clients that I have. Every single one of them is absolutely amazing, and they are what keep me going with my agency. And they're a support system. So I guess it kind of falls in, I guess, under support system too. Is I'm so grateful for my clients. So I think that just needs its own little category. I am very grateful for them, because yes, I'm the one trying to like find them the jobs, but without them, I wouldn't have an agency, and I wouldn't have such a successful agency. And 2, I am just grateful for everyone that's been part of like my journey within the agency, within, you know, just my career choices, who have kind of gotten me to this point. Everyone's kind of had a hand in helping me, whether it was when I was back within just agriculture, or if it was back when I was just doing theater and film, or whatever that might be. I have an amazing support system there with everyone in my journey. So I'm really, really grateful for all those people who have ever helped. I mean, or I've worked with, or things like that, because they've all helped in some type of way. The third thing I'm grateful for, oh my goodness, there's so many things I could think of. Third thing I'm grateful. Oh my goodness. Like, I just, like, it's all about, like, the support system, I feel like. Like, it's all, like, around, like, my support system that I'm grateful for, of course. I feel like that, like, every time I think of, like, what am I grateful for? It's someone that's within my support system, I feel like. But honestly, it's outside of my agency. I work for a newspaper and a magazine, and I'm really... today my boss just got back. He just had surgery last week, and so this was my first time seeing him, and it made me really grateful, you know, just talking to him and knowing that I work for an awesome team there that support me and support my agency. They support Berryville on Stage and the film festival, so they're a really good team to work for, and without them they have helped. I mean, they've helped a lot with all my businesses, so I'm grateful for having an awesome team aside from my agency.
Awesome. Definitely 3 things for amazing things worth being grateful for. Julia, thank you for coming on so much. Before we get off of here, would you like to give the audience the socials where they can find JB Talent Connection?
Absolutely. So go to Facebook. That is the best way to find everything about us, is JB Talent Connections. And that is Connections with a K, not a C. So if you go to our Facebook page, you can find our website and with our bio. Go to our website, subscribe. You can get, newsletters about castings, events, things like that. But we post everything on our Facebook. We post pictures on there. We post crew castings, talent castings, a little bit of everything. We share about other film festivals, just different opportunities within the community. Like I said, we work in Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. So we have a little bit of, area to cover. So give us a follow on Facebook. We have Instagram. I'm horrible at Instagram, though, with updating it. So, but check us out there and then look at our website because we also help with filming locations, and you can find that on there.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming, joining me for
Thank
an
you.
hour and just chilling and talking about a bunch of different things.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I was so excited when you asked me. Like, I've never done a podcast where it's just me on there, so.
Well, it was all about you today. Definitely, at some point in the future, if you want to come back on, just give me a holler and we'll be sure to get you right back on the
Absolutely.
show.
Thank you so much. And if you ever need guests, let me know. I got a ton of them.
You know I'll be hollering.
Sounds good. Thank you.
See, I learned so many different things by asking some of these questions that I asked. It was a lot of fun talking to her, getting to know her, because I've talked to her here and there, having to do with some of the projects that I alluded to on the episode, but I didn't really get the chance to know her that well. So I'm very appreciative that you came on the show, Julia. I'm very appreciative that you gave the chance to come on this show. As this week, we only have one guest, and that is Julia. So I'm very, very grateful for her coming on the show. It means the world to me. And we'll have to get you back on at a later point and talk about more stuff. Thank you so much, Julia. Let's look forward to next week. Next week, we have an awesome show as well. We have a wrestler that is not from the Arkansas area coming on, as well as another awesome special guest coming on Tuesday. I am super excited. 2 wrestlers this coming up week. It's going to be a lot of fun. But guys, as for this week, we are all out of time. It's going to be great to see you again next week. I can't wait for you to come back on the show and check out what we've got going on. But until then, never forget to always listen when Adam talks. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, or night, whenever you're watching or listening to this. And we will see you very, very soon.